The Golan Heights, a plateau of basalt rock, torn by war, scarred by history. This is no ordinary land. It is a strategic crossroads, a place where empires clashed. Israel seized the Golan from Syria in the 1967 Six-Day War. A buffer zone was established, patrolled by the United Nations, a thin blue line, holding back the tides of conflict. The Syrian civil war erupted in 2011. Chaos spilled across the border. The Golan Heights, once relatively calm, became a tinderbox. Rebels, some with ties to extremist groups, challenged the Syrian government. Their presence, a threat to Israel, a danger to the UN peacekeepers stationed there. Among the peacekeepers were soldiers from the Philippines, a nation with a long history of military service. Known for their professionalism, their courage, their compassion, they stood watch on the Golan, monitoring the ceasefire lines, providing humanitarian aid, trying to keep the peace in a land on fire. The Filipinos were a symbol of hope. In a region torn apart by violence, they were unarmed observers, their presence a reminder of the international community's commitment to peace. But the war in Syria was escalating. The situation on the Golan Heights was becoming increasingly dangerous. August 2014, the situation on the Golan Heights reached a boiling point. Syrian rebels launched a major offensive. They seized the Quneitra crossing, the only crossing point between Syria and Israel on the Golan Heights. The rebels took over UN positions, taking peacekeepers hostage. The world watched in horror. The Filipinos found themselves in the crosshairs, surrounded by heavily armed rebels, their posts overrun, their lives in danger. But they would not back down. They would not abandon their duty. They were peacekeepers, and they would stand their ground. On a strategic hilltop known as Position 68, a group of Filipino peacekeepers found themselves under siege. They were surrounded by Al-Qaeda-linked Syrian rebels, heavily armed and determined to capture the position. The Filipinos were outnumbered, outgunned, but not outmatched. The rebels demanded the Filipinos surrender. They refused. They were there to keep the peace, not to become prisoners of war. For days, the Filipinos held their ground. They endured shelling, sniper fire, repeated assaults. They were running low on food and water, but their spirits remained high. News of the siege reached the Philippine contingent headquarters. A rescue mission was immediately planned. It was a dangerous mission, a race against time, but failure was not an option. They had to save their comrades. Under the cover of darkness, a small team of Filipino soldiers set out. Their mission to reach Position 68 and evacuate the trapped peacekeepers. They moved stealthily, using their wits and courage to avoid detection by the enemy. The rescue team reached the base of Position 68. They could hear the sound of gunfire. They knew their comrades were still alive, but they were in grave danger. The Filipino soldiers stormed the hill, engaging the rebels in a fierce firefight. Their training and discipline paid off. The rebels, taken by surprise by the Filipinos' ferocity, were forced to retreat. The Filipino soldiers reached their trapped comrades. They had fought bravely, enduring days of fear and uncertainty, but they had never given up hope. The Filipino soldiers evacuated their comrades to safety. Not a single man was left behind. The rescue mission was a resounding success, a testament to the courage and skill of the Filipino soldiers. The world applauded their bravery. The incident on the Golan Heights resonated deeply in the Philippines. It evoked memories of the Battle of Bataan during World War II, where Filipino and American soldiers fought side by side against overwhelming odds. It was a reminder of the Philippines' proud military tradition. The actions of the Filipino peacekeepers on the Golan Heights had far-reaching consequences. They demonstrated the importance of peacekeeping in a volatile world. They showed that even in the face of danger, peacekeepers can make a difference. The Philippines and Israel have a long history of friendship and cooperation. The Philippines was the only Asian country to vote in favor of the UN resolution creating the State of Israel in 1947. During the Holocaust, the Philippines opened its doors to Jewish refugees fleeing Europe. The rescue mission on the Golan Heights strengthened the bond between the two nations. It was a testament to the shared values of courage, compassion, and a commitment to peace. It showed the world the true meaning of courage under fire. The Filipinos' actions on the Golan Heights serve as an inspiration to peacekeepers around the world. They remind us that even in the darkest of times, hope remains. Courage can prevail. And peace, though elusive, is worth fighting for.